Satyam.
Uh, Glad to have you here and sitting at this Indian National Pool Championship venue. We welcome you to India. We are glad you have taken the huge step of coming here. It takes a lot of pain traveling to India from such a long distance. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Satyam, and it's my pleasure to be here,
Great.
and love to be here as well. Yeah.
So you've been here for a couple of days now, Hoji. How is your experience? How would you rate the venue? How do you think is pool looking to you in India?
I see a lot of potential. I see a lot of people with a lot of passion, a lot of people that love to play the game. Right now, mostly with the snooker technique and snooker background. So that's where I also see a lot of potential.
Great.
And what I love most is that they all are so friendly and outgoing and humble, and they just like the game, like to play. So I've seen this in the past in how sports or pool sport grows, and this is how it grows, and this is the start. And here we can move on to the next step.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you, there are a lot of firsts that are happening in this event when we are doing this, when Apex Sports is conducting this entire Indian National Pool Championship. It's the first time that Predator has an official presence in India. What made you come down? What did you think that, what made you travel such a long distance and have some interest here?
Well, like I said, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of people in India, a lot of potential new pool players, even though they've been already playing snooker.
Yeah.
And what makes it interesting for Predator is that the sport grows. When the sport grows in any kind of way, in popularity, in players, in people watching, this is what is beneficial for not only Predator, but the whole industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, if you can give me a little more detail about Predator's vision for India, I'm sure when we started talking to Predator a couple of months back, and we told that we want Predator to be in India. We have not seen the products. Most of our players have not touched a Predator cue, which is probably seen as one of the most amazing product in the entire world. So, what do you think? What is the vision that Predator has for India over the next couple of years?
So, like I said, it's where the potential is, and we would like to invest in where potential is and to see the sport grow, to see many people play it because of a passion, because they like to play, and eventually, if possible, to have a world champion coming out of India.
Absolutely.
So with that, it takes time and it has its steps. It's like I've seen in other countries, also in the Netherlands where I'm born and raised.
Yeah.
It took 20 years before we started getting there, and it needs structure. It needs help from all directions. So players, fans, government, institutions, federations, coaches. So you need everybody to work together, and then you have the best environment to create world champions.
Absolutely. I think that's what we are also trying to do, along with the federation, with the corporates, the relevant brands, the entire fraternity with the players and everybody. If I talk about the juniors with their parents as well, right? So educational institutions, that's where we are also trying to build on certain things. And that brings me to a very interesting point. You have been a world champion yourself. You said it took about 20 years to get there when you started, when things started in your own country. We would not want to wait for 20 years to have a world champion. What do you think does India needs to do as a country, or as a, how do we become more queuable as a country and probably have a world champion maybe in the next 10 years or so?
Well, I think India has already a big advantage because of the fact they have a background of snooker and billiards. So the basics are already there, even more than basics, because in snooker you already have your own world champions. And now it's just transitioning that into another cue sport, another discipline, if you may say. And that needs just getting the same structure that you have for snooker to put that also to work into pool. And there might be some differences here and there, but if any way we can help or the industry can help, we would love to see a new Indian champion growing up.
Absolutely.
And with that, I don't think it has to take 20 years,
Yeah.
but it was in my example.
Yeah, exactly. So I think one of the last questions, Surji, or last point of our conversation, uh, how do you think Predator can help us grow the sport in India? Anything that you think from the vision that you carry for India, anything that you can help us with?
Well, like Predator and already with Apex, we've been Apex Promotions. We've been talking about how we can help each other, help India grow the pool sport. So, first steps is how to create more popularity under the cueists and snooker players, carom players, you name it. And mainly, it's that right now there are not too many events that people can play in India to start off with. So
Yeah.
we would love to see promote and help them to create more events.
Absolutely.
And with more events, also create more opportunity with pool cues. So they get a little bit of feel and taste of how it could be. And with talking with the federations and Apex Promotions already, we've been interested in taking it from the grassroots to introduce cue sports and pool sport into the schools,
Yeah.
where they can already see if they have passion for the sport, if they enjoy the sport, and if they're willing to take it to the next step. And as India has so many people, there's bound to be one or two, maybe more world champions coming out of it.
Absolutely, hopefully. So I'll just add one more thing. Let's pick any of two products of Predator. Let's say if there's somebody who has just started playing for some time. They are now looking at getting into national championships, or probably qualifying from states and coming to the next level. What would you recommend, as if I talk about any specific cue for that matter, or any product of Predator, which probably an aspiring player should look at? And similarly, the other one, if you can recommend a good product for somebody who has already been there, played a couple of world level or Asian championships. So
Yeah.
anything on that? Yeah,
Of course, asking me that question, I'm a little bit biased. So,
we would take that, no problem.
so how I would see it is to start off with a starter cue. What we have is the Aspire cues. That's a really good starter cue to see how you develop your skills. And once you start developing your skills, just like in snooker, you will start to notice what the differences can do for your own game. And then you might think like, oh, I prefer a certain other type of material. For example, right now we have the Revo shafts.
Okay.
And the Revo shafts are helping the beginning players to become as powerful playing as the better players. The Revo itself gives a lot of extra power for those that need it. And some people think it's actually too powerful,
Okay.
what I hear from them.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to help in the development and the techniques
Yeah.
that we have already developed in the products.
Yeah.
With Predator, as Predator has always been a very technology innovating company, we've always tried to make a better product. And so we've also developed a jump cue and a break cue, which also are one of the best in the world. And everybody loves our break cues.
Yeah.
And with that, we're trying to create that little edge. But I don't want to say that you should start off with like the best material right away. But if you start off with something like a beginner cue, like an Aspire cue,
Yeah.
you will start to learn what you prefer to play with and what you like. And with that, you start to become better and better.
Sounds good. That brings me to another interesting point, especially for India as a country. Pool has been dormant for a couple of years. We have a lot of snooker players. Anything that you would recommend to a snooker player when they want to switch from, we have mostly, so if you look into this tournament, mostly people are playing with a snooker cue, even in a pool national championship. So what would you recommend there, moving from a snooker cue to a pool cue, which is just one preference, which would be that one?
Well, the snooker cue, as I also myself started off playing snooker and made the transition to pool, but it was when I was quite young and I haven't played that many years of snooker still. So the transition wasn't that hard. The things that I noticed is that with a pool cue, you don't have to be as precise as snooker. That's definitely going to help you move around, move the cue ball. It has a lot more power to begin with. So it's going to help you for a lot of shots. But if I would have to say anything that would give them an advice, I don't think they should actually change too much, because that's how they know the game, that's how they play the game. And that's also nice about pool, is that anybody can play their own game. You don't have to play the standard as you think there is a standard. You can do how you think is best, as there is more ways, more than one way to go to Rome, more than one way to run the rack.
Absolutely. Sounds interesting. So I think that's all I wanted to understand, and I'm sure this would help us get a better vision about how we can do things here in India, especially when it comes from a world champion. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Urji, for being here.
My pleasure.
Thanks.